We are honored to have here tonight in the heart of our nation's capital one of the very first American flags ever to exist. Dating back to 1777, it bears the 13 stars and 13 stripes of the 13 states that declared independence on the 4th of July. There it is. This was the flag that flew victorious at Saratoga. And these are the real deals, too. These are the real flags. These are flags that have seen a lot. These were the stars and stripes that flew triumphant when the British waved the white flag of surrender at Yorktown. That was a big surrender. Nobody thought that was possible. They were the greatest power of the world, and they surrendered, and that was the beginning. Ever since, the entire world has been on notice that Americans will never let anyone take our freedom away. Won't happen. And all these talks from the communists, they haven't got a chance. Not even a chance. We don't want communists in our country. Never worked, and it never will work. Americans must never forget that we are a historic and heroic people with a heroic spirit and a heroic purpose on this beautiful earth of ours. We are made the courage and the fire and the flesh and the blood of the best and the bravest people this world has ever produced. We are the bravest and the best. Tonight we pledge allegiance to the flag they gave us, and we say, God bless the immortal patriots of 1776, and long live the cause of independence.
Donald Trump's washed-out fireworks drama continues here in D.C. We just got a nice rainstorm, thunder, lightning. Everyone was evacuated, possibly hundreds of thousands of people. I only say that because traditionally we get hundreds of thousands of people to see the fireworks display at the National Mall. I don't know if that happened this year, but they were all evacuated, had to go to federal buildings. Now they're making them go through security again to come back onto the National Mall. That could take hours. Trump just announced that he's moving his speech to 11 o'clock. Now, mind you, presidents don't do speeches before the 4th of July. They don't do speeches before the fireworks because it's about the country. It's not about them. Not this guy. He just announced he's doing his speech, and he's moving his speech to 11 o'clock, which means the fireworks now may not happen until midnight. Now, in Washington, typically our fireworks start at 9:10 p.m., right when the sun has set and it gets dark enough. Not with Donald Trump. Trump moved them back to 10:30, then 11. Now they're saying midnight for the fireworks. Nobody's staying up I'm going to bed. I mean, we're not staying up to watch that crap. Guys, it's the old adage about everything Donald Trump touches dies. He has destroyed the 4th of July. He has destroyed the 250th anniversary of our country. He already did that with all the lunacy of the state fair. That was like a kid's fair with little bulletin boards for each state, right? Disaster, that thing. Nobody showed up. Things were falling down off the stage. There was an arch that was oozing goo. And now we have rain destroying the entire event. And just to make sure, Donald Trump himself is going to speak at 11 o'clock at night so the fireworks don't even happen until probably July 5th. What a cluster F this man is. He destroyed the 4th of July.
Yeah, welcome back again to my YouTube channel, and if you're watching me for the first time, please subscribe, like, and share to my channel. So folks, America has just celebrated one of the biggest 4th of July events in its history. And once again, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, made sure he was at the center of it. The celebration marked the 250th anniversary of American independence, complete with military flowers, fireworks, patriotic speeches, and thousands of supporters gathered in Washington, D.C. But while many called it a historic display of national pride, others argued it blurred the line between patriotism and politics. So, folks, the real question was this a celebration that United States of America, or another event that highlighted just how divided the country has become? So folks, stay with us until the end, because this story is about much more than fireworks. after the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe and share the video if you enjoyed balanced political commentary. So folks, without wasting much time, let's get after it.
So Trump, during his 4th of July speech, tried to quote the Declaration of Independence, but instead quoted the Bible. I wish I was kidding you, but here's the video.
And as our Declaration of Independence tells us, we are all made in the image of one Almighty God. And a communist will never say that. That's for sure.
And to make matters worse, the crowd cheered him on. Donnie, sweetie, the Declaration of Independence doesn't say that. What the Declaration of Independence actually says is that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator, not God, their creator, with certain unalienable rights that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what the Declaration of Independence says. You're thinking of the Bible. So my message to millions of Americans, your vote put a man in the White House that doesn't understand or know the difference between the Bible and the Declaration of Independence. A man who pretends to follow the Bible because he wants the Christian vote, but has violated the First Commandment, the Fifth Commandment, the Sixth Commandment, the Seventh Commandment, the Eighth Commandment, just to name a few. A man who talks about the importance of the Constitution, but has trampled all over most of its amendments. A man who, on the 4th of July of our country's 250th birthday, quoted the Bible thinking that it's the Declaration of Independence because clearly he's never read either one of them, is cheered on by a crowd who, just like him, ignores both texts daily by calling themselves patriots. America, you clearly have a very long way to go.
So let me get this straight. This man threw himself a fireworks party so big, he turned Washington, D.C. into a hazmat zone. On the 4th of July, you cannot make this up. Okay, y'all, sit down because we need to talk about what just happened to our nation's capital. Donald Trump decided that for Independence Day, what America really needed was the biggest fireworks display in U.S. history. Not the best, not the most beautiful, the biggest. Because, of course, everything with this man is about size, never about substance. So what happened? They launched over 850,000 fireworks from the same location all at once, like a toddler dumping an entire box of sparklers into a bonfire. And the result? You couldn't even see the fireworks. All people saw was a giant wall of smoke. Congratulations, sir, you broke a Guinness record and broke the air quality index on the same night. Multitasking king. And now, right now, as I'm talking to you, D.C. has the worst air quality of any city on the planet. Not Beijing, not Delhi. Washington, D.C., the capital of the free world, is choking on patriotic smog. Residents are being told to stay indoors. The air is filled with microscopic particles that are genuinely dangerous for people to breathe. Happy birthday, America. Here's an inhaler. But wait, it gets better. His own supporters, the MAGA faithful, the ride or die crowd, they are furious. People stood in line for 2 hours in extreme heat. No water, no cooling stations. They couldn't even get into the fair. One supporter posted that the logistics were terrible and disgraceful. Another one called out the complete lack of basic heat safety. These are his people, and he still managed to let them down. That's honestly impressive in the worst way possible. And then there's the reflecting pool situation. Remember when they poured hydrogen peroxide in it because of the algae infestation and the liner started peeling off like a bad sunburn? Well, they sent Doug Burgum out on the morning shows to explain it, and this man said with a straight face that it was vandals. Vandals with box cutters sliced 350 feet of industrial liner. And when journalists ask for evidence, well, if they do it again, we'll have video. Sir, that is not how evidence works. George Stephanopoulos asked Burgum, if the pool was such a success, why are you draining it? And Burgum hit him with 99.99% of the pool bottom is perfect. Okay, so 350 feet of liner got destroyed, but everything's perfect? That's like setting your kitchen on fire and saying, well, 99% of my house is fine. That is not the flex you think it is. And here's the thing that really gets me. This is not a glitch. This is the system. This man's entire career, his entire life, has been about blowing things up, declaring victory, and walking away before anyone can see the wreckage. Bankruptcies, broken contracts, and now a fumigated capital city. He's not a builder, he never was. He's a demolition man with a marketing team. If this man can turn the 4th of July into an environmental disaster, imagine what he's doing to things you can't see.
Donald Trump's 4th of July speech was a complete disaster. Of course, the whole thing was about himself and his personal grievances. Here are the worst parts. He starts off here by lying, saying they estimated they had 375,000 people here before everybody had to leave and come back. Now they have 150,000 people. It's the craziest thing anyone's ever seen. Here's what the crowd looked like when he began his speech. As you can tell, tons of empty space. And the thing is, this venue is meant to hold 150,000 people. Then when talking about the Constitution, he said, "We have equal justice under the law, although I was not treated that well, but we won't get into that." And of course, he had to lie about the Declaration of Independence, saying that it tells us we're all made in the image of one almighty God, and the communists will never say that. But readers added context saying it does not mention God, it mentions a creator. He even had the nerve to bring up the Save America Act, something he shouldn't have mentioned whatsoever during the speech. And he mentioned communism several different times. Here's one instance. He said, "Our warriors did not fight communism on battlefields across the world, only to have that menace rear its ugly head back here in America." And after the speech, of course, he sat down and passed out during the fireworks show. This was absolutely horrible.
So Donald Trump was seen falling asleep at his own 4th of July celebration. He couldn't even stay awake for the fireworks. And there were multiple photos captured of this. I mean, in this one, he also just looks like he's passing out, and even Melania seems to kind of realize it. And just in case the MAGA fans are saying, oh, it's just a bad photo, it's bad timing, there's video of it as well. Take a look. Yes, as the performance was happening right in front of him that you could hear in the background, he was falling asleep. He was passing out. Just utterly embarrassing for both Trump and the United States of America.
Trump very well may set Washington, D.C. on fire on July 4th with his massive fireworks display. He is trying to make a world record with this fireworks display, launching 850,000 pyrotechnics in multiple locations around Washington, D.C., calling it an immersive experience, trying to beat the previous record set by a megachurch in the Philippines, which launched around 810,000 pyrotechnics. Now, this show is supposed to last 40 minutes. It normally only lasts about 17 minutes, and they only shoot off 17,000 to 20,000 fireworks. So this is going to be a much larger, massive show. Officials there are warning of air quality concerns because of all the smoke from 850,000 fireworks that they're planning to launch during this 40-minute time span. Guys, taxpayer dollars have been diverted to help pull this whole thing off from the National Park Service. And the total cost of this right now is completely unknown. It's not disclosed.
Chaos on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. as storms approach, potentially canceling Donald Trump's big fireworks display this evening. So the mall has been evacuated. Hundreds of thousands of people have been asked to seek shelter. There's nowhere to seek shelter when you're on the National Mall, especially since Trump set up special security checkpoints. Normally, you could just go to the mall and leave for the fireworks. Now you got to go through special security areas. Hundreds of thousands of people seeking shelter because there's thunder outside and lightning. Disaster. According to reports, some of the Trump supporters there think liberals in the Weather Service somehow sabotaged the weather and are causing the lightning. I was just out there getting photos of some of the planes going over at the plane displays. There was lightning over the Washington Monument. There was lightning in northern D.C. Kind of a mess out there, guys. The Weather Service is predicting storms for sure for the next couple hours through 10 o'clock, and then thereafter, maybe a 50% chance of rain. Keep in mind, Trump had wanted to start the fireworks maybe at 10:30 p.m. The mayor of D.C. said Trump was actually pushing it back to 11 p.m. because Trump is giving a speech at 9:45. No president has ever given a speech before the 4th of July, but Trump, of course, has to make the nation's anniversary, its 250th birthday, about him. So there's going to be a speech, and therefore the fireworks have been delayed a good hour and a half to 2 hours. Really, really chaos here in D.C., guys. But, typical with Donald Trump. What a mess. Had to make it about him. And of course, everything with him is a mess. So very sad news in D.C.
Donald Trump's 4th of July celebration at his state fair in Washington, D.C. is currently being evacuated due to weather. Just watch this.
Please remain calm, proceed to the nearest exit, follow all instructions from law enforcement, event staff, and volunteers. Thank you for your cooperation again. For your safety, directing all guests to immediately evacuate the event grounds due to approaching severe weather. It was made in coordination with the National Capital Regional Planning Committee and our public safety partners to always have your safety in mind.
The overhead speaker is also saying, due to approaching severe weather, we are temporarily pausing the event for your safety. Now, keep in mind, the MAGA people who are waiting to hear Donald Trump speak waited in line for hours in over 100-degree weather just to be evacuated from the event. It seems like the entire National Mall is also being told to just evacuate, get out, and seek shelter. So we'll see what happens with the weather in DC tonight, but there's a decent chance that Trump's big 4th of July celebration gets rained out. And even if it doesn't, even if it does proceed, I mean, Trump's speech is gonna suck like it normally does, but especially today of all days.
Donald Trump's 4th of July celebrations are a complete and utter mess right now on the National Mall. Everyone had to evacuate, so Secret Service now has to rescreen tens of thousands of people potentially. That's going to take hours. Trump is scheduled to speak in less than 2 hours. There's no way they're going to be able to rescreen everyone. Meanwhile, Republicans on the National Mall are fighting with Secret Service, refusing to leave parts of the National Mall, blaming the weather on, quote, liberals. It took Secret Service hours to literally screen everyone coming in. Then they had to evacuate everyone. They're going to have to redo it. This thing may get canceled. It may not. They may also have him speak at like 2 a.m. I don't know. But right now, it is a complete mess.
Now the largest producer of oil and gas on earth, larger than Russia and Saudi Arabia by far combined.
See, what you're looking at on your screen right now is droves of people leaving Donald Trump's speech in Washington, D.C. last night. And presumably these people are Trump supporters and they're walking out in the middle of it for good reason. Number one, I don't know why anybody would ever attend a Trump speech. But also number two, his speech sucked. He was lying straight to their faces and everybody knows it. So I want to show you some clips from this speech just before people started walking out, because really just across the board, a disaster from Donald Trump. And let's just start with the first clip where Trump says America is back. This is how he opened his speech. America is back. We are respected again. That's what Donald Trump says. Do you believe that? Because I certainly don't with Donald Trump in the Oval Office. But let's play this clip. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on the video as well. Comment. Let me know what you think about everything we're about to go through. And let's watch it.
Greatest. Tonight, as we stand on the edge of our 250th year of independence, I am thrilled to declare that America is back. As you know very well, a short time ago, we were a dead country. We were dead. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're respected by everybody. Nobody's laughing at us anymore. 2 years ago, they were laughing. Now, we're the most respected anywhere. Think of it, anywhere in the world. Where were we 2 years ago? We weren't respected. We were a joke.
It's just mumbo jumbo coming from Donald Trump. I mean, he's tripping over his words, but he says America is back. So according to Donald Trump, America is back because the Epstein files are being covered up. There's more war in the Middle East. We're spending billions of dollars. American soldiers have died in that war. The economy sucks. Everything is incredibly expensive, despite him promising that that wouldn't be the case. Apparently, according to Donald Trump, this is America being back. And he says we're respected on the world stage, except there's not a single piece of data that supports that. For example, look at this poll. 11,000 adults surveyed across 10 different countries in Europe and Asia. And the question is the United States a reliable partner? Look where we were in 2022 with a lot of these countries. Many of them in the 80s, some in the 70s, one in the 60s. Then, under Donald Trump, all of those numbers have gotten disastrously worse. I mean, in South Korea, a huge partner for the United States, it's now 57%. Germany, 39%. Canada, 35%. Sweden, 31%. Australia, 37%. France, 27%. We are not respected on the world stage. The world is laughing at Donald Trump. So for him to get up there and say the opposite is just absolutely absurd. And then he goes on this really, really crazy rant saying that he's putting America first. Yes, that's what he's actually trying to claim.
But just like those patriots of 1776 over the past 17 months, we have taken power back from the far-off political class. They're trying to gain it back, but it's not going to happen. We have reclaimed our sovereignty, regained our liberty, restored our prosperity, and we have saved our country. In all things, we're once again putting a thing called America first.
Yeah, folks, welcome back to the channel. And President Donald Trump addressed the nation during the Salute to America celebration, describing the United States as the crowning achievement of human history and praising Americans' founding ideals. The event featured military aircraft, patriotic performance, and one of the largest Independence Day fireworks display ever organized. Severe storms delayed parts of the program, but the celebration continues later in the evening. For Trump supporters, the event represented exactly what Independence Day should look like, a powerful reminder of America's history, military strength, and national pride. Many viewed it as a celebration of freedom at a time when they believe traditional American values are under pressure. But critics saw something very different. Some argued that the speech carried strong political messaging despite being part of a national holiday. Others questioned whether a day meant to unite Americans should also be used to promote partisan themes. The debate quickly spread across televisions, across social media, and political cycles, with reactions ranging from admiration to sharp criticism. That reaction alone tells us something important about America today. So, folks, almost every major national event now becomes a political conversation. The 4th of July, once viewed primarily as a celebration of independence, increasingly reflects the country's border disagreement over leadership, over identity, over history, and the future. Whether people applauded Trump's message or opposed it, folks, one thing is very clear. His ability to dominate the national conversation remains as strong as ever. Even a holiday celebrating the nation's founding became another chapter in Americans' ongoing political debate. And perhaps that's the biggest story. Not simply what happened on stage, but how differently millions of Americans interpreted the exact same event. So, folks, the 250th anniversary of America independence was meant to celebrate a shared history, but instead it also reminded the country how differently Americans see the present. So, was Trump's July 4th celebration a powerful display of patriotism, or did it deepen the political division already shaping the nation? So, folks, share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoy thoughtful political commentary that examines both the events and the conversations they spark, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.